What just happened? My God, I must have hit a button.
Watch me cook on this one.
That's what I felt like was going on when I set up this live stream. Amazing. Welcome, I'm Rob. We're going to talk about the news. I hope that didn't mess it up. No, I think we'll be fine. I think it's technical difficulties. We'll see what happens. All right, a lot of news going on. I wish I had a opening song, something like that. You know, a little more spicy. Do I have anything? No. No. Sorry.
Mine?
We're not going to start like that. There's a lot of the news to get to. There is a lot. I don't know if you saw the interview that Laura Ingraham. It's not even Laura Ingraham. Is there a difference between Laura Ingraham and Laura Ingraham? Are those different people? Isn't Laura Ingraham a person too? Wait. Laura Ingraham. Wait. Oh, that is the same person. Oh, she just aged. Oh my God. I thought those were different people. Why does she spell it like Ingraham? She has a ham at the end instead of Ingram. Ingram. She's a American conservative television presenter. Hello, I present the TV. She's been the host of the Ingraham Angle on Fox News since 2017. Editor-in-chief of LifeZette. What the is LifeZette? Where is she from? Connecticut, Glastonbury, Connecticut. What is LifeZette? LifeZette. Oh, it's a news. Latest Democrat Trumpstein narrative crumbles with a quickness. Watch. LifeZette. It's a conservative American website. Sometimes these people entertain me. LifeZette. 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 In case you didn't know, Laura Ingraham. That last name is gonna bug me. She also is the owner of LifeZette. So if you're getting your LifeZette from lifezette.org or whatever, she owns that. But I don't know if you've seen the interview where she got to talk to old Dirty Don, as Epstein called him. But Laura Ingraham, I don't want to confuse her with any Ingrams. Ingraham talked to Trump. Oh. And on this little lower third piece, it says, Trump talks 2028. Why? Why is he talking 2028? And what Donald Trump said about the people of the America was that they're talentless. He called Americans untalented and said, this is why we need HB1 visas. I want to see if I can find the short. There was a short that I can just play with. Oh, here it is.
There's never going to be a country like what we have.
No, wait.
There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that
the
mean,
Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers...
Yeah, raise wages for American workers. You go get them, Laura Ingraham. I don't believe she really wants to do that. She's fine with, her and the upper echelon of political commentators, the mouthpieces for the billionaires, earning what they earn. And the CEO is making, 6,000 times what their median employee makes. So I don't think she really means that, but good for you saying that.
You can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of
I agree,
foreign
but
workers.
you also do have to bring in talent. When
Well, we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
no, you
here.
don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented
You're being,
people here?
No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, "I'm going to put you into a factory. We're going to make missiles," or "I'm going to put."
How did we ever do it before?
Well, I'll give you an example. In Georgia,
How did we ever? Isn't that like what the whole thing was? You know, you re-employ the unemployed. Oh, I love it. It's interesting to watch. You know, the hard right grifters try to what? I don't even know what they're doing with Trump. It's all softball stuff. But if you didn't hear that, Donald Trump said, no, we don't have talented people here in America. That's the America First way, baby. Hey, what's up, Brenda Taylor? Rocket. The sweet, sweet rabbit. Oh, Rocket the raccoon. You seen, did you see, hold on. Let me pull out the long screen. Did you see what they did in LA? They made this a billboard. So funny. Or not a billboard, you know, but a projected image. There's a whole video for it. I just can't play the video because it plays gung gung, hooked on a feeling, do do do. But I thought this was great. There's old Just Dance Vance, Spam Blondie, Dirty Don, Little Mike Grinder Johnson, and Cash App Patel. They should not have made him Groot. Groot's too cool. Same with Rocket. Like, leave those two out. Just because Rocket the Sweet Rabbit Raccoon, the old trash panda, you triggered me into thinking about that. So we'll leave that up for a minute. We're going to play more of the Donald Trump, Laura Ingraham angle interview because there's like, you know, no integrity in media or politics. And it goes on full display. And it's really just about covering your ass while you're like stealing from while you're looting the government and all our tax money and doing stuff in public service while we pay for it, while we provide you the means to rob us blindly. And that's really all it is now. And it's like very blatant. But there's more news that we got to get to before we play the old Donnie Trump. Dirty Don's interview with Laura Ingraham. Don't get it confused with Ingram. She has a ham at the end of it. Her name's spelled H-A-M at the end. So it's Ingraham. Okay, so I get some of my news. I don't know about you, sweet rabbit. You're a clown, troll, and you lie about everything. Shut up, Karen. Stop being a Karen. Lying about what? I'm going to play Donald Trump telling you buffoons, how untalented you are. So just shut your mouth. Go sit in the back. Sweet rabbit, like I was saying before. Oh, sweet, sweet trash panda. I don't know where you peruse your news from. You know, nowadays, we don't just sit down at 5 o'clock and turn on old WCVB and look for, what was her name? God damn, I forget her name. But, you know, the old 5 o'clock news anchor. Now we're like kind of hoarding news from all different areas. And one of the places I go to is R.M. Brown. He's one of the best YouTubers ever had. He's, you know, a comic, a funny man, and he also talks about the news. And the way I get my information on Tim Pool, you may know him because he, you know, talks about the culture war. He's always, you know, involved in the culture war. Listen, when humanity needs a lot of defense against, you know, the green M&M and the Teletubbies and all of those, you know, fictional characters and all those fictional characters and the books and those fictional books that might turn your pets gay, Tim Pool is the hero that humanity needs. He will stand, he will hold the line. Tim Pool will. And he will not let books be America's downfall. He will not let the cartoons that corporations made to sell their products trick us into stuff. Tim Pool is a very serious news dude. You might know him. Was it last year? You might have heard of Timothy Poulsen because turns out Russia was paying him like $100,000 a video or something. And he said, I was tricked. I'm the victim here. I was taking boatloads of money, Venezuelan boatloads of money from Russia. And I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't ask any questions. I just said, you want to pay me that much? That is, unheard of amounts of monies for me to do my videos. And he said, deal, done. No questions asked. Just keep sending the cash. And turns out he was duped by Russia. I wonder why. Wonder why Russia felt like paying him a lot of money was good on behalf of them, was good for their interests. You ever wonder those questions? Like, why did they pick certain right wing, some people call them grifters, to unload hundreds of thousands of cash? Why does Tim Pool and Russia's values align so much that they were willing to throw that much money at him? These are the questions we ask here on this channel. I am Rob. Not in the verb sense, okay? In the noun, name sense. I'm Rob. And I host the live stream. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Join me every single weekday as we take this journey into the news. Some days the news is like a sweet, sweet in-ground pool where you just dive right in and breaststroke your way to the other side. And some days the news is like a gross cesspit of dumbery. We'll find out what kind of day today is. But I get my Tim Pool news from RM Brown. He keeps me abreast of the latest with Timmy, old Timmy, because I can't tolerate this guy on his own. He's what a lot of people call a moron, a dummy. You'll hear it. I'm gonna play some audio of Mr. Tim Pool. I don't have a photo of him. It's probably better that way. But I'm going to play some audio. Again, I know this gets confusing. From RM Brown's channel. Great YouTuber. Much respect. I tip my beanie cap to you, RM. And, that's the other thing. Tim Pool gives everybody who wears a beanie a bad name. Guy's never seen without it. No style. No kind of grace. No je ne sais quoi with his beanie. Just old man yelling at the sky style beanie wearer. And I don't like that. If you're going to wear a beanie, give it a little pizzazz. Put a sticker on it or something. Or an old lollipop, that you didn't finish. And stick it in the back, for safekeeping. This is where I hold my old gum, pack of cigarettes, anything you need. It's like a utility belt, patent pending. Don't steal that from me. Don't steal that from me. I'm going on Shark Tank, and it's going to be the utility beanie, okay? So I get my Tim Pool news from RM Brown. I'm going to play some of... This is going to be hard to endure. This is a trigger warning. If you are set off by stupidity, you might want to just cover your ears and go la 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 la. Because it's kind of hilariously stupid. And unfortunately, there's like a lot of people that take him seriously. If you're one of the people who take Tim Pool seriously, you should probably go somewhere else. You're going to be triggered. And then you're going to, yell at me in the comments. I see a lot of you guardians in the comments. I see a lot of the guardians in the comments, Yeah, this channel is stupid, man. So stupid. Shouldn't you be at school, you fucking loser? Go get an education. I highly encourage all people to get an education. It's the only thing Americans are missing. All right, so Tim Pool. Let me give you a baseline, a backstory to what Tim Pool's talking about. He's talking about the Epstein files release. Remember old Donald Trump's best friend, Jeffy Epi? Well, Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of emails. He liked to write everything. Holy crap. He shouldn't have in retrospect, you know. You don't want to kind of put this stuff in paper. And he did. And the Democrats and then the Republicans were like racing to release certain emails. Not the whole files, just release the files. My Christ. And Tim, old Timmy Newsboy Poolman, believes that he's on to say, he knows the real story of Don Ard Trump. And it's fucking hilarious. And if you hear somebody in the background of Tim Pool, that's RM Brown making his comments. Because again, this comes from his video. I linked it down below if you'd like to check it out yourself.
Democrats are trying to frame Trump.
Those sickos.
We can see that.
Yep.
What's interesting is this story.
Yeah, it's
2
not
months ago,
interesting. Okay.
Mike Johnson claimed Trump was an anti-Epstein informant, then retreated amid criticism. I think this actually may be the case.
Wow.
Okay, so did you hear that? Tim Pool believes that Donald Trump, his whole friendship with Epstein, was because he was an informant. I'm going to let him continue. And then we'll comment after. Anybody in the comments? I know there's some guardians in the comments. Some old Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend supporters. Do you guys believe he was a Donald Trump was a federal snitch? You're gonna hear Tim Pool's whole theory on it, which is fucking hilarious. I can't believe, I really, like, if this was my first day on earth and I heard Tim Pool say what he's about to say, I would be like, this can't be a serious person, right? This is like joke news? Is this on Comedy Central? Is Crank Yankers coming on after this? But no, Tim Poolman is a very serious boy. So are you ready? Oh, I'm going to show you my insights with your troll account. I'm going to let Tim Pool explain how he thinks Donald Trump was a snitch. That's why he was in the inner workings of the dark Jeffrey web. Okay, Tim, go ahead.
Or it's a probability.
Okay.
Could it be
No.
that the reason Trump doesn't want to release Epstein files is because it will expose him as a snitch,
As a
not
hero.
just on Epstein,
snitch.
but on a lot of stuff.
Wow.
I think there's a strong probability there. And it's funny, I brought this up a while ago, and these liberals were like, Tim thinks that, Trump was a secret hero with the FBI, and I'm like,
Crybabies.
what I am telling all of you is that if word got out, Trump was a snitch to the FBI on a bunch of other prominent, powerful people, it'd be knives out for the man.
Oh, hell yeah. Praise God.
Now you're going to hear a little RM Brown.
Oh, hell yeah. And
God bless you.
this is my man, Tim. He's doing journalism. Show him respect. He's my favorite guy of journalism. This is how it's done, man.
Oh, wait, is that... Hold on. He plays some more Tim Pool. Okay, hold on.
It's an important thing. The president is doing good only. That's journalism, you idiots.
If it turns out that Trump has Mar-a-Lago bugged, so when powerful people come for meetings, he records it and sends it off to the feds. Peekaboo. What would happen to Mar-a-Lago were that the case? Some of us think it's true. Some of us think it's true.
Oh, God.
I love how he always gives himself an out. I'm not saying that's a real thing. I'm just saying, what if? I strongly believe it, but I'm not saying it's true, but what if? You notice how this is what I call the School of Ben Shapiro. School of Ben Shapiro means Ben, whenever he wants to do one of his facts, it's not really a fact, and you can watch this on your own. His comment section has attacked me many times for this. But Ben always just says, let's say. In other words, let's make up a scenario where this could happen. The most famous one of Ben Shapiro was, let's say, climate change is real and all the coasts get flooded. people will just sell their house and move. And famously, H. Bomber Guy had to meme him and say, Ben, who are they going to sell their houses to? Aquaman? So Ben Shapiro is not a serious person. You know, he's there to flash shiny things at stupid people and get them, you know, to buy into these hypothetical arguments. And he makes a lot of money doing it. Of course, all of these people, Tim Poolman was funded by Russia, Ben Shapiro funded by, I forget who, you know, they're all like billionaire oligarch oil frackers where they're like, yeah, just keep these people entertained with stupidity. And Tim Poolman subscribes to that same kind of style of YouTubing where Ben Shapiro has all these hypotheticals. So if anybody tries to call him out, he's like, it was a hypothetical. And Tim Pool, as you heard him in the beginning of that say, I strongly believe it. And then at the end say, I'm not saying it's true. So that's like if I came in here and tried to tell you something and said, I strongly believe this. And then at the end said, but I don't believe it at all. I do not, that's not true. It's like, well, what is it, Tim? Are you just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall to keep people, you know, clicked on your video and maybe entertaining things? But never mind the whole, I give myself outs so no one can ever say, Tim Pool said, like he obviously clearly heard liberals saying he's a dummy for it, which I don't know why. He's probably got a lot of similar views to liberals. But I'll tell you, as a leftist, Tim, I'll speak directly to you now. Hit subscribe. Now, you don't hit subscribe. Everybody else can hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. They're starving for views. Got to stay as wild as possible. Emily Love, good to see you. But Tim's hypothetical, he thinks it's true, but at the end said it's not saying it's true. Okay, very confusing. So which is it, Tim? But his whole theory on Donald Trump having Mar-a-Lago bugged like it was a Jeffrey Epstein mansion. So when rich and powerful people come, he could tattle on them to the feds so he could be a snitch to the feds. Okay, I want to make sure we're all clear. That's what Tim Pool said.
You're a moron. You say the president is actually a hero, despite all evidence of the
This is R.M.
contrary.
Brown. Sorry.
And then you totally...
Hold on.
Most of all, it's an important thing. The president is doing good only. That's journalism, you idiots.
If it turns out that Trump has Mar-a-Lago bugged, so when powerful people come from meetings, he records it and sends it off to the feds. Peekaboo. What would happen to Mar-a-Lago were that the case?
Now, Tim has this smug little smile on his stupid-looking face. Like, didn't consider that, did you morons? And I would just ask any of you, if Mar-a-Lago was bugged like a Jeffrey Epstein, you know, McCaney manner, who is Donald Trump inviting to Mar-a-Lago? People he wants to rat to the feds? People he wants to snitch out to the feds? Who is going? Does anybody know who attends Mar-a-Lago? Has anybody paid attention to the lineup going to Mar-a-Lago? Anybody? It's usually the people he's committing backroom deals with, and they are paying an entrance fee. I think it was like $100,000 a year or something to join his Mar-a-Lago club. So you're telling me, Tim, the people that are joining his Mar-a-Lago country club and paying are the people he wants to snitch to the feds? If that's the case, Tim, because you said Donald Trump has Mar-a-Lago mic'd up like a goddamn McCaney Manor Epstein horror house so he can snitch on them to the feds. But if that's the case, why did he pardon everyone from J6? Why does he pardon everyone who's ever been loyal to him? Why does he pardon anyone who sends him money? And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you images, and I've linked stories down below where he has pardoned the absolutely most disgusting criminals. In fact, I'll just bring up one. I'll just bring up one to show you. This story is linked down below. Long Island drug dealer freed by Trump, pardoned by Trump, now convicted of this. So Tim, I'm just going with your theory, Tim. Your theory, Tim, that Donald Trump.
Good only. That's journalism.
Here's
you
Tim.
idiots.
Here's Tim.
If it turns out that Trump has Mar-a-Lago bugged, so when powerful people come from meetings, he records it and sends it off to the feds.
Okay. So, Tim, what powerful people that Donald Trump needs to snitch out to the feds are going to Mar-a-Lago? Does Tim not understand? Donald Trump believes anybody that is loyal to him, loyal to the crown, cannot commit a crime. That's why you see ICE on the streets. That's why you see these creeps being pardoned. Hold on, there's more pardons. We'll get to them. I hate to poke holes in old Timothy Serious Newsman's newsy news theories. But Tim, do you not understand that Donald Trump, if you just, call him handsome, he'll give you a pardon. He doesn't give a shit about drugs in our country. He don't care about, gangs in the country. He don't care about none of it. He don't care about none of it, okay? None of it. Old Ghislaine Maxwell didn't pardon her yet, but he sent her to a camp. This Long Island creep, seen here with Mar-a-Lago himself, pardoned. So Tim, I guess it's news for stupid people. Is that Tim Pool's audience? Is it just like, hey, are you really stupid and want to feel smarter? Come over here. I'll tell you some stuff that makes no sense. I guess that's also why Tim Pool started saying, I really believe this, and then at the end saying, not saying it's true. But Tim's theory on the Epstein files. I'm going to play it for you again, because it's shocking how stupid he is. It's like, who is allowing this behavior to happen? Russia. Russia's allowing this to happen. That's why. Oh, that's it. Okay.
Amid criticism. I think this actually may be the case.
I think this may be the case, he says at the beginning of this story, of Donald Trump being an FBI informant, a rat, a snitch. I think this may be the case. That's what Tim Pool starts the story with. I'll play for you the end in a minute. We're going to get there when he says, not saying it's true. Then why do you think it's the case?
Wow.
Or it's a probability.
Okay.
Could it be
No.
that the reason Trump doesn't want to release Epstein files is because it will expose him as a snitch?
Can Tim tell me one person that Donald Trump has had to Mar-a-Lago that's in prison? Like, can he just tell me one person that Donald Trump has snitched on that we could maybe, put our tinfoil hats on and put the yarn on the board and try to pin together? So Tim Pool's theory, again, I can't believe people take him as a serious newsboy, is Donald Trump doesn't want to release the files because he's a snitch. The famous guy who pardons everybody is a snitch. I guess he's snitching on them so he can release them with a pardon. Jesus Christ. Now I understand why Donald Trump said Americans don't have talent. Now I'm starting to get it, because if you watch enough of this brain rot, you'll probably start seeing what Donald Trump's seeing. Maybe Donald Trump has just been surrounded by right-wing grifters like the Ben Shapinos and Tim Pools, and he's like, America's talentless. But here's old Timmy Newsman Pool's theory on why the Epstein files aren't coming out. And this is from R.M. Brown's news YouTube channel, link down below.
As a
Not
hero.
just on Epstein, but on a lot of stuff.
Wow.
I think there's a strong probability there. And it's funny, I brought
There's
this
strong probability there.
up a while ago, and these liberals were like, Tim thinks that, Trump was a secret hero with the FBI, and I'm like,
Crybabies.
what I am telling all of you is that if word got out, Trump was a snitch to the FBI on a bunch of other prominent, powerful people, it'd be knives out for the man.
Okay. If he was, when is justice coming for those people? When? Epstein notoriously got sweetheart deals from his time dealing with the Department of Injustice. Ghislaine got moved to a camp. A lot of all of J6ers got pardoned. That Homan dude, Tom Homan, is that his name? Tom Hooman? He wasn't even looked into about taking a literal bag of cash. So I don't know, Tim. I would just, you got a brain in there. I would use it when you're trying to, come up with defenses for Donald Trump being in the Epstein files.
Names of these guys. If you want to be one of those guys, this is how you do it. Tim Pool is doing a clinic right here.
This is what journalism is about, you morons.
You're a moron.
I love Aaron Brown. He's so funny. Hold on. Here's the end of Tim Pool's little theory on why Donald's not releasing the Epstein files.
Good only. That's journalism, you idiots.
Thank you.
If it turns out that Trump has Mar-a-Lago bugged,
like Epstein, McCaney Manor, everything mic'd up, cameras up, everything. It turns out they're the Trumpstein files, and Jeffy was just in them.
Okay. So when powerful people come from meetings, he records it and sends it off to the feds.
Again, what powerful people are going to meetings at Mar-a-Lago that Donald Trump is baiting there to record and turn over to the feds? Do you guys hear this, right? You hear how, just on its face sounds stupid, and I would be, as a human, embarrassed to repeat that. Just number one, because of how many creeps Donnie pardons, but number two, because it just doesn't make sense. So he's running a country club where schlub, CEOs are paying to attend so they could get private time with the president, and the president in return has the place mic'd up so he can destroy the people enriching him. Okay. My brain's hurting a little bit, but okay, that's the theory we're going with, Tim. Old Tim Pool. Oh my God. Old Tim Pool. It's amazing, folks. And some people take him seriously. We have more. Hold on. Oh, here's the meme. Here's the meme for Tim. By the time this is all over, we're going to find out that Epstein was in the Trump files, right? He had the whole place mic'd up. It's fucking hilarious, man. This dude forgets that Mar-a-Lago was raided. It was. And you're saying, okay, so are you saying that Tim Pool's onto something? Mar-a-Lago is raided because Donald Trump mic'd up Mar-a-Lago to snitch on himself for keeping classified documents in that bathroom? Because, you're bending my brain now, right now. This one's tough to believe. That Donald Trump mic'd up his own place to snitch on himself so it could get. Listen, if that's your theory, who am I to call you a dummy? I'll leave that to the public. Mar-a-Lago. Lardo. It's Spanish for club where fat people roam. Mar-a-Lago. I love the people who go, well, what about Biden? Yep, that's it, guys. You're almost onto it. You've almost got him. But again, this is why Donald Trump said all of these things. I love the poorly educated. I don't care about you. I just want your votes. Smart people don't like me, And now we can add to this list of things Donald Trump has said about his base. Holy shit. By the way, the guy Donald Trump pardoned, I did link this story. It's not the Post story, but I did link the story from Newsweek about who he is, his pardon, the implications. And these are a dime a dozen, right? Am I right? This guy, wants to make America great, releases all these criminals back into the wild. It turns out they all reoffend, or most of them are reoffending and going back. We'll see how it pans out for these two. You know, he's claiming Venezuelan fishing boats. We got to drone them. Meanwhile, he pardoned Ross Ulbricht, who was the Silk Road dude. You might not be old enough to remember the Silk Road. I do. And then Larry Hoover, founder of the Gangster Disciples, Chicago Street Gang. So, you know, he really is so concerned about drugs coming into the country that he pardoned the dude that was, you know, running the world's largest drug ring on the internet. Okay. You know, make it make sense, but it won't, because he's a selfish pervo. You know, he don't care about nobody but himself. And like Tim Pool was putting on full display, Donald Trump really don't care about you. So much so that he's got even Tim Pool bending over backwards to look like a foolish fish in a small pond. Now, Donald Trump, I don't know if you knew, we're going to add a new one to the list. You know, he said, hold on. He has said,
I moved on her like a bitch.
oh, wrong one. He moves on women like a bitch, but that's none of my business. Let's see. Donald Trump has said, let's see if we can find them all.
There's a lot of stupid people in this country running things.
Stupid people in this country running things while he's the president. No, he said,
Smart people don't like me.
smart people don't like him.
Educated, I love
Loves the poorly educated. And then I don't have the clip where he says, I don't care about you, I just want your vote. And today, folks, I hope you're excited. MAGA, pay attention. Hey, eyes up here with someone jingling keys at you, MAGA. I know you're easily distracted. MAGA, listen up closely, because today the president, your Lord and Savior, old Chicken Supreme in Chief, old John Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, Dirty Don, as Jeffy Epi called him, adds a new quote to the list. You know what he said? You're untalented. America doesn't have talent, and we need immigrants. Oof, that's got to sting right in the heart, because I know the heart of MAGA is filled with a little hate ball for anybody that doesn't look like them. So, you know, immigrants is top on the list for MAGA. They're like, oh, get them out of here. They're very scared of immigrants. And their whole thing was, including right now, in the streets, if you haven't seen, ICE is like kidnapping Americans, kidnapping people waiting outside of Home Depot, Dora the Explorer shows, fucking, you know, Gabby, whatever her name is. I'm sure Princess Sophia ain't safe. All these people are in danger because Donald Trump let loose ICE, said no rules apply. I pardon everybody anyways. Go do your work. And while he's chasing, you know, the scary boogeyman, the enemy, and what makes you guys the victim, the immigrant, while he's chasing them around, right? Spending, like, the government was shut down, and he was still paying his Gestapo, ICE, whatever they're called. And he was paying, I mean, if you want America to be great, I would think education, healthcare, right? All the money that he's funding to ICE, like it was a new goddamn military, you would think he would take some of that money and like fund it to teachers, so we don't have stupid people growing up listening to people like Tim Pool. But no, not happening. So while he's chasing certain immigrants out, do you know what he's saying about other ones? Do you? Let's play this again. Hold on.
That's all.
There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
This is Donald Trump on the Laura Ingraham, H-A-M at the end, Ingraham angle. I'm going to play the short clip, and then we're going to go back and play the long interview, because there were some other things he said where you just got to be a dummy to have wanted this guy in charge. Especially like the Epstein files, bankrupt the casinos, he's a coastal elite Nepo baby. You know, there's a lot of things. He doesn't care about you, makes funny all the time to your face. A lot of things, but this is another one to add to the list. So Donald Trump being interviewed by Fox News bloodhound at large, Laura Ingraham.
That
The
mean,
Republicans have to talk about it,
and
Laura.
does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands
I agree,
of foreign
but
workers.
you also do have to bring in talent. When
Well, we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
no, you
here.
don't. No, you don't.
We don't have
You're
talented
being-
people
No,
here?
you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well, let me
When you
just,
and I were
I'll give you
growing
an
up.
example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made
Hyundai.
batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know.
Do you even hear what is going on, right? I mean, maybe some of you aren't catching this, but Donald Trump is referencing his own raid on the South Koreans, where I can't figure out if he's stupid, has dementia, ADD. Well, it's probably all three. And it's probably like the heightened version of each, because at first Donald starts to say, well, you have this scenario where there's all these South Koreans coming into the country. And then he's like, and they're got to be here to teach the workers because we're obviously stupid. And they wanted them out of the country, but we need those people. He's gone back and forth in one sentence. Did you hear that? One sentence. That dude went back and forth against his own points. Because if you don't know, the Hyundai plant in Georgia, where the South Korean workers were here to, like Donald Trump said, teach the American workers how to do this, Donald Trump and his ICE Gestapo, whatever they're called, rounded them all up and put them in detention. So, Donald, which is it? Do you want those people to teach your untalented Americans, which he, previous to that story, where he couldn't figure out what side he stood on? He needs an enemy. You know what I mean? And the worst part about it is it's usually himself, but he just says Joe Biden. And then you see the people, you know, regurgitate it like little baby birds. But Donald Trump raided and kidnapped all those South Koreans, held them, and then shipped them back. But now, right, and some of you cheered, you're like, yeah, get them out of here. And it's like, well, they weren't trying to come into the country to live. Guys, they were teaching the Americans how to fucking work at Hyundai. You know, you ever been on a job and you get trained by somebody who's already done that job? Those guys were doing that essentially. But Donald Trump's such a ruthless moron. He sent ICE to destroy more American jobs by taking the people who were supposed to teach them. And then, just so you know, shortly after that, South Korea was like, yeah, I don't know if we want to be doing this kind of stuff anymore with that kind of country. So not a good look for us. Not a good look. But again, remember what we're talking about. Donald Trump said, we need immigrants. Americans are talentless. They're untalented. He said, we don't have talented people here. And Donald Trump said, we need immigrants. So it's weird that he's been chasing these immigrants out of the country, kidnapping them, sending to different countries, sending them to labor camps, sending them to foreign prisons, holding them in detention centers. And now he's saying, no. We need guys, you want to come into the country? Like, how does any of this shit make sense to you if you're the, like, you know, 20-something% that supports this dude? Because explain it to me. Explain it to me like I'm 5. So you need all the immigrants out of the country, right? That's what he ran on. That's why we've had the Gestapo on the streets, rounding up even Americans and disappearing people, eroding our due process, our rights. Yet Donald Trump goes on Fox News on the Laura Ingraham, H-A-M at the end of that, and says, no, Americans aren't talented. We need immigrants. Do you think the immigrants that have been watching this, the people that would potentially immigrate to America, want to come here and risk being the one that you don't detain? Like, this is batshit crazy. Like, old man should not be in charge of, you know, his own bowels, never mind a country. But this is so insane. I hope, MAGA, you abandon ship. If you're going to take the Tim Pool line of reasoning that Donald Trump was just a snitch for the FBI, he just mic'd up Mar-a-Lago and all those rich people that came to cut backdoor deals with him. He was actually turning over to the feds so he could then later pardon them all. Again, I can't figure that one out. But so Donald Trump calls you untalented. You Americans are not talented. Then Laura Ingraham, I'll even say this, like Laura Ingraham was like, bro, that's what the unemployment line's for. And if you've ever gone to the unemployment office, you'll understand that they have programs. They have like these retraining, learn this, learn that. They have these community connections when you're going for unemployment, because you usually have to take some kind of class. You have to go, you do all this stuff. And they have programs where if you want to learn, of course, Donald Trump said make missiles. Like, that's the only fucking thing America does is make missiles. It's so funny that he said make missiles because, I don't know if that's a Freudian slip or if he was just trying to seem like, oh, not anybody can make missiles, or if he was just really, saying like our economy is Wall Street and making missiles. And that's it. If you can't do Wall Street, you can't make missiles, man. And what are we going to teach you? We can't do that. So there's so many layers to this interview. The fact that he was like, what are you gonna, they can't make missiles. And Laura was like, you take them out of the unemployment line. He was like, no. We're not taking unemployed people and letting them make the missiles. Hell no. And it's like, well, what? What is going on here? So instead of helping the unemployed Americans, he called them talentless. And then he said, we need immigrants. Interesting. Can we stop doing the ICE thing now? If we need the immigrants, can we please stop doing the ICE thing? Holy shit. This is Laura Ingraham, by the way. Is her name up here anywhere? Because you'll see what I'm talking about. It's got a ham at the end of it. H-A-M. And this is your leader in cowardice. We have to bring in talent because Americans are talentless. But he said a whole lot more. If you want, I didn't link this Fox bullshit state propaganda in the description, but you can just go to YouTube, type in Laura Ingraham Trump interview, boom, it will pop up. You can find it on your own. All the MAGAs in here getting upset and crying. They're always crying. That's why I had to literally make a meme for them. I drink your fascist tears every morning. I wake up and I go, here's some more fascist tears. Cry about it harder, snowflake. I'm surprised they could understand what he's talking about. Here. MAGA. Here you go. Here's an easy way to figure out which kind of Trump supporter you are. There's only two of them. Billionaires and idiots. Go check your bank account and see which one you are. Fair warning, though, if you got to check your bank account, you're one of the idiots. Oh, I didn't even start by going into meme news. We have some meme news to get into, folks. Everyone keeps arguing about insurance versus universal health care. Meanwhile, the 7 largest publicly traded U.S. health insurance companies reported a record $71.3 billion in profits last year. We do not have a healthcare system. We have a billing system, and the bill is you. Then, did you see this? BlackRock suing United Health for giving too much care to patients after the CEO was murked. And we here on the show, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We talked about this story, and then we talked about United Health actually announcing like, oh, we're doing too much unnecessary care and our stocks, tumbled a little bit, so we're going to pull back and it's going to get harder for you as humans, not us. You people that need the health care. So we covered all that, many months ago when all this was crack-a-lacking. But it's sad because if you don't know, I'm Rob. I host the show every weekday here. And as a humanist, I really want to get the Bull Moose Party started again. I think that would be good for us. Something to believe in. Here's some points. You just look up Bull Moose Party on your own. But I believe that universal healthcare and healthcare is a human right. I'm absolutely sick to my stomach of seeing St. Jude's Hospital, commercials, all these things. I'm sick of seeing the government cut cancer research for children, RFK, who has absolutely no qualifications to be in the position he is. It just, you know, I believe that the government should be working for us, because without us, the government doesn't exist. Okay? Who are they going to govern? How are they going to pay themselves without our tax money? I mean, they work for us. Don't ever forget that. They are, when they go to get elected, they're getting elected into public service. So yes, the government should be helping its own citizens. That's the only reason they exist. They don't exist so they can go regulate stocks that they're going to trade on later. Oh, and some of you guys are like, no, that's why. That's why the founding fathers were clearly very about consolidating wealth. And we're just keeping on with that long tradition. And what I'm telling you is shut up. You know, it's poisoning our communities. So, yeah, so welcome. Hit subscribe. I show you funny things like this is Rudy Giuliani. I'd like to think his name when in drag is Ruby Giuliani. You may know him from being the guy who famously married his cousin. Yeah, I think he was also mayor or something. I don't know what else he did, but he married his cousin. That's how I know him. And then this is your president, not my president. Remember when people used to say that? Not my president. And they thought they weren't snowflakes. Like literally the definition of needing a safe space is saying not my president. It's okay. It's okay. You know, a lot of people say they're morons. So you just gotta treat them with kid gloves. But that's old Epstein's best friend. You know him as Dirty Don from the emails. 7 bankruptcies. Look up Katie Johnson. Oh, dids. I have. I know that story. Rudy looking like a whole snack. Hold on. Who's Emily Love. You caught me off guard with that one, Emily. Oh, much love to you. Rudy looking like a whole snack. And you can find, hold on. Here, I'll show you the TikTok. TikTok at Did You Catch This? This is a whole video, just so you know. Rudy puts on Ruby. I would like to think his name is Ruby when he's dressed like this. Ruby puts on perfume and Donald Trump sticks his face in her fake cleavage. I'm not joking. This is a real video. And to think MAGA's like, you can't dress up like a woman and do story hour. It's like, well, is he allowed to dress up like a woman and have Donald Trump put his face in his boobs? Like, is that okay? Where do you guys draw the line? You're so confusing. You have no backbone. You have no fucking morality, integrity, character. You're just like, I just want to be mad at something. My life sucks, so I voted for a failed bankrupting casino CEO, Nepo baby coastal elite, who is friends with all the Democrats and considered himself a Democrat at one point. Like, this is it. You know, you guys are all like, oh, Bill's in the files. Yeah, so is he. They're all pervert creepos, man. Let's hold them all accountable. Come on, MAGA. Come on. Stop thinking that, you know, you're voting for anti-establishment people who have been more establishment than you, like, longer than you fucking known your ass from your elbow. Come on, man. Come on. I'm begging you, because we can take this country back. Trust me, there are much less people that are, you know, super wealthy oligarch Nepo babies than there are of us. And we could just guarantee healthcare. Simple shit, you know? You don't have to earn sick time anymore. Paid vacation guaranteed. Go look up what Italy gets for guaranteed vacation. I believe it's like 4 weeks. It doesn't matter what you do. God, other countries really figured it out. And here America's like, we're the land of the free. Free to what? I don't know. Free to die in medical debt. Oh, hold on. Before we get to the rest of Donald Trump saying Americans are talentless and we need immigrants, I still can't wrap my head around anybody that supports this dude, because he just talks out of both sides of his mouth. You know, we need immigrants so they can come here and be rounded up by ICE and not get a job. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Are you stopping ICE because we need immigrants now? Like, he literally said we need these immigrants because Americans are talentless. He called you talentless. But before that, I got some sad news. The government funding package that ends the longest shutdown in U.S. history, have you even said thank you? Sets in motion a nationwide ban on most hemp-derived products currently sold across the country. It's only bad news. It's only bad news. If you start to ban hemp and THC or, small percentage of THC, anything that's not full legalization of cannabis is horrible for this country. Cannabis is a medicine, and if you don't believe me, okay, here's more of the article. You can read it down below. But if you don't believe me, if you're like, oh, guy's complaining he can't have his drugs, it's, a drug like amoxicillin. It helps people. And listen, if you don't believe me, that's okay. That's okay. Do you believe the government? Because you know how Charlie Clan was like, oh, I got to trust my friends with the government on this one, guys. Are you one of those, morons that are like, I didn't trust the government last year, but this year I fully trust it? Well, then trust the government. You can go and look up, this is from Google Patents, that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has been granted, back in 2003, a patent on cannabis. You understand what I'm saying to you? Cannabis. You can look all this stuff up for yourself. Cannabinoids have been found to have antioxidant properties unrelated to NMDA receptor antagonism. Hold on. This newfound property makes cannabinoids useful in the treatment of prophylaxis of wide variety of oxidation-associated diseases, such as ischemic, age-related, hold on. Hey, what's up, Chief? What's up, Chief? I can't read because of the comments. Related inflammatory and autoimmune diseases. The cannabinoids are found to have particular application as neuroprotectants. So this is, I keep telling you, you can just look up patent number, wait, that's the application number, where's the patent number? Here we go. Patent number 6630507B1, okay? You look up patent number and you'll see that at the same time, the American government has cannabis, a Schedule I drug federally. That means no medicinal properties, highly addictive. It's Schedule I, just like Haran, okay? Both Schedule I. Yet in 2003, the U.S. government also got a medical patent on its medical usage for cannabinoids, which I don't know if you know that, but those come from cannabis. So the hypocrisy is just outstanding. It really is. That's, I think, American exceptionalism. The hypocrisy, the willingness to criminalize its own citizens for something that they clearly know is good for you, healthy, a medicine. And I talk about this because Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about you. And he just signed I think, was it Lindsey Graham or who helped put this in, to ban hemp-driven products across the country, which I can't figure it out. It's just out of cruelty. There's none of this makes sense unless you're like, oh, well, Big Tobacco clearly doesn't want these kids smoking these, like the hemp cigarettes. I don't know if you've seen them. The hemp cigarettes where they can sell almost anywhere. I don't know what state you're in. Here in Massachusetts, we don't think people are criminals. We understand that they're medical patients, like the government says. So you can basically find them anywhere, but depending on what state you're in, if you're in like a real nanny state like Texas, where, you can't get that cannabis anywhere, boy. If you're in a real nanny state like Texas, it might have to be specially located hemp cigarettes, because that is very irresponsible, even though it's just all racist propaganda. That's why they criminalized cannabis in the first place. So yeah. This is destructive to our country, and I was just, out of all the little Hail Marys I throw, hoping for healthcare, tax the wealthy. Well, we did tax the wealthy here in Massachusetts. We put a wealth tax of 4%. Mamdani wants to do a 2%. We did a 4%, and no kid at school has to pay for lunch. There's no school lunch debt, and you can get a free bachelor's degree if you want at community college. But all the things that I'm praying for, I just want the United States to legalize cannabis. I hate that I drive across an imaginary line into New Hampshire, and that state, it's illegal. You go to jail. But if I drive to any other bordering state or country from New Hampshire, you can go to Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, Canada, and you are just a legal adult. You don't get a second look. But in the live free or die state of New Hampshire, you can go to jail for cannabis. So I just want that gone. You know, just fucking get rid of it, man. And Donald Trump is setting us backwards in that. All right, now let's get back to Donald Trump calling Americans talentless and saying we need immigrants. Are you, MAGA, are you like constantly confused at what to believe in? You know, because I know you just think what Donald Trump says is the Bible truth. You don't need to look it up. You just trust your alpha. It's so funny you think he's an alpha. The guy who's wearing, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's the president, apricot rouge. He's your alpha. That's your leader. Okay. All over the Epstein files, and he's your leader. All right. I gotcha. But is it confusing for you to live your life thinking one day you don't like immigrants, and then Donald Trump issues an executive moronic order of, no, now we need them. Americans are very talentless, and now we need them. Because he said that on the Fox News state propaganda channel with Laura Ingraham. But I'm going to play, he's going to say that. He's going to call you talentless in a minute. He's going to talk about some other things first.
We are doing phenomenally well. This is the greatest economy we've ever had.
Ever. FDR bringing us out of the Great Recession. Nothing on this. Clinton and the surplus of money. Nothing on this. Nothing, baby. We are riding high. You know, everybody was like, bro, I just want egg price cheap. We are now, I'm swimming in eggs. Bitches, I got my bathtub filled with just eggs, and I dive into it like Scrooge McDuck does in his big bank. Best economy. Aren't you feeling it, baby? Right? That's why I keep seeing all the layoffs happening. 1 million people laid off this year. Small businesses closing because of the tariffs. Fucking. What's it like to just hear something and just believe it on sight? Is it like love at first sight? Is it like more idiocracy at first sight?
They're talking points. Oh, of course, sorry. By the way, the only thing is beef.
Beef. An old-fashioned where some say, I created the word beef. He looks like a beef.
Coffee.
Is a little high.
You hear Laura. Coffee. Oh, man. Some things in life do make me want AI to take over. Like the Fox News interviews. I'm like, you know what? I might take AI over this one.
Because the ranchers are doing great. Coffee, we're going to lower some tariffs.
Oh, wait a minute. He just said greatest economy in the history of this country, and now we got to lower some tariffs for coffee? I don't know. It doesn't sound like the greatest economy. Back in the 90s, we weren't worried about coffee prices. I was there. Interesting. I'm trying to do the MAGA mindset. Groceries are getting inexpensive. Are you kidding me? I just went to this grocery store. Not even a half bag of groceries was $35. And I was like, oh, good God. Dids, facts. Yeah, Dids, you better hit subscribe and the notification bell. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. I can't believe it. I'd rather be woke than think Trump is my Lord and Savior. Right? Literally can see prices rises. Oh, Dids. So check this out. I think I still have the pictures. Prices were rising so quickly. And this was like within the past month. Prices have been rising so quickly that stores can't keep up with it. Okay. We're going to get back to Donald Trump telling you that the economy's never been better. Just when you go to check out at the grocery store, when they say it will be, $35, you say, no, the president said it's not expensive. But Dids, I was talking about this the other day. I came back from the grocery store, and here in Massachusetts, we have a law that if they mislabel something, and it's under $10, you can get it for free, or they have to give you at that price. They almost never give it to you for free, and trust me, I press them on it. And if it's over $10, you know, whatever the lowest price it was ever advertised at, is something like that. And there's a law, and it's at every cash register, right? So everybody's well aware of this. That's also why Walmart now is doing the digital price tag, so they can change the price tags immediately. If you walk into the store and they sense your phone and they go, oh, this person obviously this time of year buys Christmas, you know, tree lights, they're going to jack those Christmas tree lights. So they call it dynamic pricing, which is just a cheap way of saying price gouging. But so I was at the store and I was going to get those Hawaiian, you know, the Hawaiian rolls, the sweet Hawaiian rolls, and it was the 24 pack, and I was trying to price everything out, right? And when I looked at the tray, that the little stock thing that all the Hawaiian rolls were organized into, the price of $4.99. Literally, Hawaiian sweet rolls, 24 count, $4.99, right? Because when I price stuff, I look at per ounce, because you're looking, you know, at what's the best value per ounce. I'm not looking at the overall price. I'm looking at how many I'm getting for, you know, for whatever they're measuring it out by. You should do that too. And it's at $4.99. So I pull one out. I was like, oh, this is the best deal, because the smaller ones were like $3.99. So I was like, what the is going on here? You know, I'm obviously taking this. And when I pulled the Hawaiian rolls out, they had sticker tagged at $6.99, because they're not keeping up, you know, like they can't even keep up with their own greedflation. So the sticker tag said $6.99. I was like, oh, someone fucked up, because this whole thing, this whole rack says $4.99. So I took a picture of it. I went up to the front, and immediately I just told the lady, I was like, listen, I know that says $6.99, but I have a photo. You guys have a mark back there for $4.99. I'm not paying $6.99. It's bullshit, man. And they know the rule, you know, so she was like, all right, you know, where was it? And I was like, no, I took a photo. Here you go. This is, you know, from today. You can go back and check if you want and take a long time, but, you know, I'm not here to try to cheat you out of $2 like your bosses try to do to me. And, you know, she clearly saw the photo that I showed her where the whole tray is marked $4.99. But because they're trying to price gouge in Donald Trump's economy, they need more and more and more and more money. He's only for the rich CEOs. He's only for the business owners. You know, that's it. If you look at all the new tax breaks, the 100% write-offs, it's all for, like, you know, business owners. So, and I'm not talking about the little business owners either, guys. So she gave me the 24 pack of Hawaiian sweet buns for $4.99. But literally, like, they can't even keep up with their own prices, and they're just tagging stuff like wildly. So again, if you're in a state that has good consumer protections, and if you're, pause real quick, if you're against consumer protections, you should get your head checked, because you're a consumer. We make up 70% of the economy. It's best to protect us. We shouldn't get ripped off. We shouldn't get scammed. We shouldn't be overpaying, because guess what? We're going to keep coming back and buying food. I don't know if you know this about humans. We need food to survive. So, it, you know, it does our communities better when we can afford stuff. That's why Donald Trump is convinced affordability is some new word. It's like, no, you moron. It's just you don't have to deal with that ever. You've always been an entitled rich kid. So, DIDs, to go back, DIDs. It's unreal at how expensive shit is getting and how quick that stores can't even keep up with their own price gouging. Dynamic pricing, as corporations like to relabel shit. So weird that Donald Trump, in this interview on Fox Propaganda Network, entertainment. Sorry, in court they said we're entertainment. No one could seriously take us as like really saying the news. But he said best economy ever. And then, sorry, we got to fix coffee prices. I thought it was the best economy ever. Let's keep going.
Have some coffee come in. We're going to take care of all this stuff very quickly, very easily.
It's amazing how many times you can hear this fat old liar say, we're going to take care of this stuff very quickly, very easily. It's like, bro, you said that before you got elected. Remember the whole day one egg be cheap? Do you remember that? Is anybody old enough to remember last election where he was like, you elect Comrade Kamala and we're gonna be cut off from trade and ICE will be on the streets, you know? And he was like, you elect me and day one, egg be free. These are not the eggs you're looking for. I'm old enough to remember that. So when I hear a president lying out his teeth like this, like, we're gonna fix it very quickly, already done. It's like, what are you going to fix? You just said we have the best economy ever. Why would you have to fix something in the best economy ever? Or are you just a liar who says a bunch of word mush?
It's surgical. It's beautiful to watch. But our costs are way lower. Now, Walmart came out with a statement that they do every year for many, many decades.
We all know about the Walmart thing where he had to get fact checked on his his trillionaire friend's website. That's funny too, that like even on his trillionaire's buddy's website that's like hardcore right, he still got fact checked on the Walmart thing. He said, oh, Walmart said the Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper than Biden's. And it's like, yeah, because they were like, there's no more brand names. There's like 7 less items. This Thanksgiving is going to be tastes like turkey. Brought to you by Better Foods Walmart brand. You know, they're like, what is this? A yam tato? Oh my God.
And they said that a Thanksgiving meal costs 25% less this Thanksgiving, coming up, think of that, than it did last Thanksgiving under Sleepy Joe Biden.
Dozy Dawn, I wouldn't be calling other people sleepy. We seen you fighting in your sleep in the White House, buddy.
That's a 25% reduction.
Again, is this news for stupid people? Does anybody else watch this guy like it's a comedy show? Because Walmart announced to us 25% less money for this Thanksgiving. He doesn't, talk about it's not brand names, much less items. And then he goes, and that's a 25% reduction. I'm an economist. I'm like, thanks for repeating yourself. He must have dementia. He has to have dementia because you can't be on TV acting that stupid and thinking like you're smart.
I think that's right. And
I think that's right. Well, too bad facts don't care about your feelings. Woo! Who said that? Who said that? Ben Shapano? Ben Shapano, didn't he say facts don't care about your feelings? Why the fuck is the president bragging about what he thinks is right?
Joe Biden. That's a 25% reduction. I think that's right.
I think that's MAGA. Oh, Sassy Mo's here. What's up, Sassy Mo? Good to see you. Dab Mom, how dare you correct me? It is from now on Ben Shapano. Oh, Michael O's here. What's up, Michael? Chief's here. Michael's here. Good to see you guys, man. I hope you're having a beautiful Friday. Let me just take a moment from this, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's dementia president, and just say, what's going on? Dab Mom. LOL. Okay. Dab Mom, if you don't know, I stole that joke from RM Brown. I love him. He's a very funny YouTuber. I linked his Tim Pool latest video in the description. Dab Mom, if you have some time, I would highly recommend watching RM Brown. He is so funny. He is truly a gem. And I love to pass on, funny, interesting people that I discover. I did not discover him, but, if I discover it, I want to share the wealth. Alma's here. I didn't see Alma. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Alma. God damn it. I have failed in today's live stream if I did not say hello to Alma. Much love to you, much respect to you. I'm very happy to see all my mods, all my fam. And I encourage you to, it's free. Listen, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Join me when I go live every single weekday. And don't tell MAGA, but sometimes we go live on the weekends. Okay, sometimes there's some news I got to bring to you. Don't be disrespectful to Maybelline. My apologies to Maybelline. Waffle, do you have any new Valenti videos to share? No, I've watched a couple. I do. So I still have an old Valenti video linked down below. I do not have a new one. I'm very sorry. But I should update that. I was too focused on RM Brown today because he kills it when he covers Tim Pool. There's nothing funnier to me than the way RM Brown does satire is chef's kiss, Salt Bay, meme, perfect, So, still anti-capitalism. Yes, Tim Pool does suck. He does. Hold on one second. Let me give you a meme to look at for 1 second. I gotta do. Oh, for people who weren't here, who didn't get to see it. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there we go. No sound. Thank you, Sebastian Boone. What I was saying is, C-Train, you French kiss your sister with that mouth. Watch your mouth when you're in here. I didn't break my stream. You're on mute. Unrestrained late-stage capitalism is turning into techno-feudalism and neo-fascism is a pretty thing to oppose. Thank you. Muted again. Hey, Pat O'Deed. Go to Ben Shapino's website. They said that back in 2021, not backs. I don't understand. Stacy, heart, back to you. Heart. The muting makes it way better. Oh, do you need a safe space? A lot of MAGA needs a safe space. You guys don't want to hear anything, right? You're like, la, 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 la. Not my president. I need a safe space. Epstein wasn't in the files. These be haters. Why though? Because Stacy, as soon as you got to understand, they're in a cult. So whatever their dear leader says, they oblige. They are obedient in advance. So they, I heard you guys like, Michael, I'm stealing that. I'm taking that from you. Is this anti-mags? I like magazines. Oh, MAGA. Okay. Yeah, we're anti-racism, anti-misogyny, anti-class traitors, anti-fascisms. You might recognize it as Antifa, but that stands for anti-fascism. The only leader you should have is the dollar. Well, that's what Donald Trump worships. Anyone? Crystal's here. Crystal, good to see you. Crystal Hazer. Oh, Hazer. I was gonna say something. When I did the post, Crystal, you gave me the idea to do the multi-stream. Anyone who wants them to mute should just change the channel if they don't like it. Then again, their activity in the chat is helpful for the stream. Yeah, I tell them, go to Ben Shapino's channel. Go to Tim Pool. He'll tell you what color Eminem is reading a book to your pets that are making them gay and using the wrong bathroom. He will cover all that stuff that you're terrified of. Either side is a cult, honestly. It just sucks. Correct, Stacy. I've never been proud to say that when I first got to register for vote, I went Green Party. I was only 16? No, 18? How old are you when you vote? I don't know. It was decades ago. But I was very proud. I was like, I'm not doing Republican or Democrat. It's a Green Party. I care about the environment. Oh, hold on 1 second. All right, you bunch of hippies. Hold on. Plenty of information out here to make money and survive the recession. But see, the thing is, we're going to play the rest of the Donald Clump. Remember Professor Clump? We're going to play the rest of Professor Clump's 18. Yeah, Sugar 69. Yeah, so it must be 18. I just remember because I proudly showed my mom, rest in peace. She's been gone for a while, but and she got a kick out of it. See, that's the thing, Sewer's lit. There doesn't have to be a recession. if we just taxed wealthy people, tax billionaires at 100%, you know, when you think of the Republicans added 2 trillion, like the quickest amount of debt, the most and the quickest amount of debt that I think has ever been added to the deficit. They added 2 trillion. Small YouTuber, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, found a $500 billion in tax dollars by finding one billionaire and taxing them at 100% everything over $1 billion. Elon Musk, he's an illegal immigrant from South Africa. If we tax him, he can keep 999 million, right? He can keep that. And if he can't live on that, maybe he's living outside of his means. Maybe he shouldn't be eating, you know, an avocado iPhone every day or whatever he does with his money. But if we just tax him at 100%, everything over $1 billion, I just found $500 billion. Okay? So think about that, you know? Why aren't the wealthy paying their share of taxes? They're destroying our environment quicker than anyone else. You can keep recycling your yogurt containers, but I'm telling you, when Taylor Swift wants to, you know, get a crepe in France, that's going to negate all the recycling we've tried to do. It's exhausting. So I sit here and try to bring some of this information and attention to these things to you. FC, why not go out and make something for yourself instead of looking to take from others? I'm not looking to take from others. What I'm looking to do is make our community better. I create a lot of wealth, but I am exploited in a system that does not pay enough for us to survive. You could have multiple jobs and you still can't survive. Now, way back a long time ago, Americans could work one job and survive. So your whole perspective is what's wrong with people. You think, oh, you're stealing wealth. But do you think Elon Musk is stealing our wealth? Because he's taking all of our tax money to subsidize his companies. I would say that's more stealing than anything. And if you're into taking from other people, you should look up what the biggest theft is in America. Do you know? It's wage theft. That's right, corporations and businesses stealing from the laborers, the people who create their wealth. If we just stopped working, do you think billionaires would be making all of this money? No, they wouldn't. So again, you're framing, you're probably like a Russian bot, but if you're a real human, I would just hope you would consider, you know, just do some reading. It's so powerful if you do some reading. And you'll understand that the workers create the wealth. And then the people who don't work and sit on Twitter all day, they extract that wealth from us. While we sit around going, who can I vote for to buy egg? They laugh because they're making trillions of dollars that are funded by our tax money. And I had a career for a long time, and then private equity came in and hollowed it out. So it's okay. It's adorable. I know you're trying to use all the Ben Shapiro talking points of why socialism doesn't work, but it's just stupid. You know, we're living in capitalism. If capitalism worked, it would have worked by now. I hate to break it. I hate to be the one that says, guys, if unregulating these big businesses, if giving the wealthy tax breaks worked for all working people, guess what? We'd have a functioning society, and we don't. And if you're going to sit there and tell me that America, where people die every year, 65,000 plus people, plus Americans, 65,000 plus more than Americans die every year just from lack of access to healthcare, if you're going to tell me that's a functioning society, you maybe have a knot in your brain. We Americans are tired. Amen, Sarah Hoffman. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Oh, Lord Christ, please come down and strike those who oppress the working class. Strike them right in the back of the head with a switch. Thank you. Thank you for hearing my prayers. America is Rome, and America will fall. We're watching the crumbling of it. That's why Trump had to, you know, do whatever in the last election. I don't understand the MAGAs that in 2020, they were like, unfair election. Then 2024, they're like, fair election. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? America, the best country in the world. I would argue that, you know, the countries that care about their citizens are better but it's okay. We can make it the best country. That's what I'm doing here. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to teach people, all those people that go, you're disrespecting the founding fathers, and they say they're constitutionalists or whatever, while they erode the rights and things guaranteed to us, or privileged us in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. All those people need to understand that you not wanting to progress society when you see the clear faults in it is keeping us held back from having a good place to live. You know, I hate to be the one to, but like, we're going to have the talk right now. We're all going to die. All of us, every single one of us. It's the only guarantee in life. And, you're not going to say, before I die, just let me work one more shift. You're not. You're not going to. You're not going to have begged to just work at GameStop a little longer. It's not going to happen, okay? I know you think that you're going to be a proud worker who just licked the boots of all his bosses, and on my gravestone, they'll put Employee of the Month. But I hate to break this to you. You're going to regret that you came into my live chat, you stuck up for those oppressing all the working people, you helped in the suffering of your neighbors and Americans, while people like me were speaking out saying, guys, we have the technology. We can do the healthcare. Why are we gatekeeping it? Because certain people want more profits. 71 billion in profits. U.S. health insurance companies. The funny thing is that's almost 71 billion in profits they made, and 65,000 Americans die every year from not being able to access this because they didn't have enough money. Brian, are you calling live streamers grifters? So are you acknowledging that Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, all those people who, because see, I don't get paid doing this. I make money from some of the super chats, which I appreciate dearly, and then, you know, pennies when you see an ad, if I'm lucky, a penny. But would you say that the people who are live streaming and doing these shows are grifters, Brian? Because I would encourage you to walk that thought out more. I would really. Joe Rogan, who has on Peter Thiel and all Peter Thiel's buddies, and the CIA and all these kind of arms of the government on his show, would you say he's a grifter? Tim Pool, who we played earlier, would you say he's a grifter? I would. I absolutely would. It's funny how Tim Pool, you know, rants and raves that he voted for Elon to get $1 trillion, but he's anti-establishment. You can't say that you support the billionaires and you're anti-establishment. You just can't, because the billionaires are the establishment. Hold on. Apple Pie Guy. My one medication costs $30,000 every 5 to 6 months. Rituximab. Well, Apple Pie Guy, I've never heard of that medication. I work, pay for my family. Brian, if you keep mouthing off with that stupidity, I'm going to have one of my mods ban you. Because everybody in America has to work for their health care. You have to pay for it. There's no free health care in America. You understand me? This is what we're saying. So welcome to the club. You're just American. I fucking hate these people. They're so stupid, live in a bubble. Apple Pie Guy. Sorry about that. Friends of mine, family of mine, have to have insulin to live. And here in America, it's unreal amounts of money. A friend of mine was telling me it's $2,000 a month that he has to pay to live. That's not for rent. That's not for food. It's for a medication that we created. They make for pennies on the dollar, I'm guessing, that other countries guarantee. Canada, if you don't know, through their national or private healthcare system, Canada last year guaranteed insulin. There's no payment. They guaranteed it for people because, you know, people die without it. And you claim, you know, or people in this chat will claim that America's the best when people are dying or rationing from lack of insulin? or having to work multiple jobs so they don't die? Like, do you understand how backwards that is? Calling someone a grifter sounds anti-capitalist. Oh, I welcome anybody that's anti-capitalist. Hold on. Tim Pool is a bald loser. Thank you for the comment. My mom gets it free, 0 out of pocket. Keep up the lies. My mom gets it free. My mom gets it free. Oh my God. My mom gets it free. She told me it's free. Okay. What's the screen behind you say? Everyone keeps arguing about insurance versus universal health care. Meanwhile, the 7 largest publicly traded U.S. health insurance companies reported $71 billion in profits. We do not have a healthcare system. We have a billing system, and the bill is you. And then I was showing you an old story that BlackRock is suing United Health for giving too much care to the patients after the CEO was murked. And previous to this, or post this story, post May, I reported here, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I reported on the CEO, probably from pressure from their investors, coming out and writing this whole article. I showed it here. You can go back. I forget what month it was. You could just look this up. You have the world at your fingertips. The CEO announcing that, stuff is going to get more expensive and healthcare is going to be harder to access here in America because they were giving unnecessary care. Again, this is corporate speak for we just want more money. Because I said, have you known anyone in America outside of the Kardashians that gets unnecessary procedures? Have you ever heard of someone going, you know what? I'm going in to get my knee replaced because it was just squeaking a little. I could tell when the winter storms would come in, my knee was acting up, so I'm just getting it replaced. Doctor didn't recommend it. It's unnecessary, but I'm just getting the care done. That doesn't exist in America. Again, the propaganda that you read all the time, that you've been normalized to, is bullshit. And they want you, Tucker Carlson's, the Tim Shapinos, the Ben Pools, all those. They make money off of this. They have big investors from all these billionaires. They're all tied together because it's a big club and you and I ain't in it. And they don't care about us. Just like Donald Trump. We'll get back to him. What does this one say? Trump rushing Pam Bondi and the rest of his team into the actual situation room to talk about Epstein files is totally something an innocent person would do, right? I forgot I had that one. So yeah. So I like the little detour. George Carlin, you know it. Hold on. Go away. Go away. Oh, I love your name. They won't pull my teeth that are rotted because I need a bone graft and I'm on public assistance, but they won't pull the tooth without me paying $2,000 for a bone graft. And that shouldn't be in America. And that should not exist. That should not exist. And in other countries, it doesn't exist. This is uniquely American. In recent years, the number of breast implant procedures has been around 300,000 per year. Where are you getting those numbers? I would say that's probably highly encouraged by the MAGA base, I'm guessing if you've ever seen a MAGA woman, all fake blonde, they have a look. So my insurance went from under $200 a month up to $650 when Obamacare took the HMO away. Well, you know why, Wire Rat, right? Obamacare used to be called Romney Care. Here in Massachusetts, when Mitt Romney was the governor, he implemented that here. And do you know who created the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare? Do you know Wire Rat? Obamacare was created by the Heritage Foundation. You should look into them. They did Project 2025. They're a hard right think tank. So, yeah, it's not universal healthcare. It's absolute garbage. But they tied Obama's name to it and made everyone think, oh, it's a Democrat thing, when really it was created by the Heritage Foundation. The people that brought you Project 2025 are responsible for this mess of a healthcare system. And why did they do it? Well, they would come up with anything. You know, the concepts of a healthcare plan before Trump released that his concepts were to kick people off of healthcare. Yeah. It's a for-profit insurance scam system. It is not healthcare. Harley Hendricks. It doesn't change who came up with the system. Oh, these people are sad. These people are sad. Hey, NRX. I know you're like, oh, he's never been to a socialist country. I want you to read this book and you find out what happens to any country that starts to lean socialist and do things for the people. In fact, a lot of the things you like about America are because of FDR, the minimum wage. We should have a maximum wage. Social Security, all the programs, the military. Are you a military supporter? Do you support the police and the fire department? Those are all socialism. Same with the mail. So yeah. You should shut your hole, Wang Chung. You see this? All the times I wonder what Putin had on Trump, and now we find out Jeff Epi was talking to Putin's ambassador about him. How are people okay with like the compromising position this dude is in with so many people, and how he, pardons these people, best friends with these people? I know you guys all thought he was some like hard right Republican, but he's a coastal elite Nepo baby Democrat from New York. The people you feared. By the way, because Chief is here and Alma, did you guys see the new street art in LA? Love street art. The Shock Doctrine. This is an absolutely amazing book. Amazing book. Everyone should read this. Hold on. Okay, let's get back to this interview where Donald Trump, the guy who let loose ICE on the streets to kidnap even Americans, the guy who ran on getting immigrants out of the country, is now saying we need immigrants because Americans are untalented. That's what your, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's dementia, president said. MAGA. How much of this, what kind of self-loathing morons are you? I love the poorly educated. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. Smart people don't like me, aka stupid people like me. Now he calls you untalented? My mom had a pin. Well, you know what? Never mind. You need to have some more self-worth. If people bully you like this, if people, talk to you like this, you need to stand your ground and say, no, I'm valuable. Even as a human, you may have shitty traits like you're racist or, a class traitor. I don't know. But just as a humanist, if somebody talks to you like this, especially someone that works for you, don't forget, the president works for us. We pay his fucking salary. This is unreal. We also pay for his golf trips and, when he goes to Scotland to open up a private golf course, we paid for that. But don't let your employees talk to you like this, okay? Don't. And this dude has some more to say to you.
And if you remember, when I first came in, the first 2 days, I had a news conference, eggs. They were hitting me with eggs.
Eggs. Some say it's an old-fashioned word.
Eggs had quadrupled in price. And they're screaming at me and say, I just got here.
No, you ran on lowering egg prices. Remember you bragged about groceries being an old-timey word and then said you think you might even came up with it? Oh, Christ. And the worst part is like some people believed. He was like, on day one, I'm going in, I'm pulling the egg lever, dropping all the prices. And then day one, he was like, I can't do anything about that, you idiots. And then if you research, we talked about it here on the channel, hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you research what was going on with eggs, you find out that all the egg people were collaborating to create scarcity, because that's how capitalism works, Because if you know anything about America, we have roughly 25 empty homes for every homeless person. So mathematically, we could just house the homeless. But capitalism needs scarcity. It needs demand. It needs homeless people to make you keep working those 40 fucking jobs so you can afford your 100-year mortgage and you can constantly pay into the system where they exploit you. So no, Donald, they weren't yelling at you about eggs. You had promised them and then said, fuck off.
I didn't know about eggs.
You didn't? Why did you talk about them all the time with groceries?
And Brooke Rollins, our agricultural commissioner, secretary, did a great job. And now eggs are what they were.
And now eggs are what they were before. I did the best job ever. I got eggs back to what they were.
We got eggs down. We get it all down. But our prices are much lower. Their line is price is affordability. That's the new word, affordability.
You understand. Everybody else, I want to talk to you for a second. MAGA, their whole thing is we're anti-establishment, we're electing Donald Trump because he represents the common man. So we understand he's not. He was raised as a coastal elite Nepo baby in New York. He failed casinos, airlines, water, steak, Trump University. He can't even run a charity in New York anymore. So we understood, no, he's a high-profile grifter. He's always been, But they didn't know that, you'd hope. And they truly believed, because we played clips, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, support the channel on the road to 10,000. We played clips of those soy boy farmers in Arkansas where they were on the microphone at some town hall saying, Donald Trump, we have a message for you. You said you loved us. We need to see the fruits of your love. That is literally what one of these soy boy farmers in Arkansas said. So they really believed oh yeah, this guy looks like a working class. The guy that's putting on makeup every day to go look fancy on TV. He's just a regular old working class roughneck. And he's so far removed from even fucking egg prices. What does it cost, Michael? $50 an egg? That he thinks now the new word is affordability. Bitch, that's been the word for decades, affordability. But this is how, he's dealing with billions. He's getting free Qatari jets from foreign kingdoms. He's getting Bitcoin, meme coins. We just showed you the meme where Eric Trump was on Fox News saying, hey, on Saturday night, while you're drinking a glass of wine with your wife, you can, trade 500 million in crypto. And I'm like, what world are they living in? We're talking about eggs and affordability, and they're like, this is a new thing. I've never heard of affordability. My daddy always paid stuff. The nanny would bring the groceries in, old-timey word. I thought she invented it. She said, I'm going to the grocery store. And I said, what is that? This is fucking crazy, man. And these people really thought, this coastal Democrat elite Nepo babies, he's here to help us.
It's much less expensive under Trump. And I haven't been...
Have you told the grocery store that? When you go and you get 2 bags for $200, are you like, this is much less under Trump?
Here long. 9 months is not a long time. But look at what I've done to energy. Look at the price of gasoline going from
Oh, yeah. Hey, for you people up in the north that got to use heat this winter, that thing to keep you alive through the winter. When you get your heat bills, I want you to think of this guy. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's dementia, okay?
$50 to $2.50 or $2.70, it's going to be $2 gasoline.
People want affordable.
Well, the economy is my thing, and we have the greatest economy in history.
But are Republicans not selling it enough?
Yes, the Republicans don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's it. The problem is we have the greatest economy ever. It's that Republicans just aren't talking about it, That's what it is. All of us know. We're like, God, it's so cheap. I'm just buying many homes. I'm trading so many crypto memes. My NFTs are worth so much now. We all know, guys, right? Everybody's like, I work one job. I'm taking 4 vacations a year. I bought my second home. I'm buying an extra car. Everybody's like that, right? Right? Old Riker, egg prices are super cheap, right? You're just living the high life right now, right, everybody? Right? Because it's YouTube, I'm sure you could just say whatever you want. But that's what when I'm going out, you know, and me and the cashier are joking and I'm talking to people in the streets and I'm meeting people. Everybody's like, it's so affordable right now. It is just so, it's never been. You know, I'm not worried about my health insurance premiums. I'm not worried about price of energy, beef. You know, everything is so affordable right now. The problem is, guys, like the president said, it's just the Republicans. They're not talking about it. All they keep talking about is this Epstein guy. Jesus.
Yeah, so they need to do a better job on Capitol Hill.
That's it. We all know. The politicians aren't letting us know enough how affordable it is.
Democrats give false talk, and the Republicans, and I say it all the time, Republicans have to talk about the fact that prices are down.
Yeah. Guys, ignore when you go to the grocery store and you're like, this beef is much more expensive than it was a little while ago. It's just because the Republicans didn't tell you that it was cheaper. It looks more expensive. It costs more money, but the Republicans aren't doing a good job of telling you that it's cheaper. This is literally this presidency. The trust me, bro, dynamic.
The Walmart thing is very important.
The Walmart thing is very important. We all know the Walmart thing, right? He's claiming it's 25% cheaper, but Walmart even, Elon Musk's website, Elon Musk, you know him. He's the South African illegal immigrant who gets all our tax money to run his businesses. And he plundered our government. Remember when he talked about fraud and then there were no charges? Do you remember he said Doge dividend checks, 5,000 each? Are you guys still waiting for yours? But even Elon Musk's website had to fact check him because Walmart, if you know, they released a Thanksgiving meal and they said it's 25% cheaper now under Trump, trying to boost him up. You know, they're saying, we'll kiss your butt, Trump. But what they didn't include, and then they had to get fact checked, is there was like 21 items or 24 items in last year's Thanksgiving meal that were all brand name. And under Trump, there was like 14 or 15 all generic. So it was much less, hence the 25% less, and all generic. But somehow this is still a bragging point. I guess if you're watching Fox, you're not on Twitter.
Walmart says a Thanksgiving meal costs 25% less under Trump than under Biden. I mean, to me, that's better than.
So Republicans need to spend more time talking about how great.
Talking about a thing that was not better. You know, if you consider 25 less for, you know, a third less of the products and they're not brand name, I guess that's good. I don't know. You might want to fact check that, buddy.
The country is and less time complaining about the Democrats.
We have potentially the greatest economy in the history of our country.
Everybody's feeling that, right? Everybody?
We have, again, Biden did in just a short...
I've never, by the way, we should have done a Biden counter. That's why I need you to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Because my vision for the show is I get to do it on a real computer and get the cool setup that you see on Valenti Vids and RM Brown and the Hassan Parkers. I wanted to have a cool setup, right? And I go in the morning and then we cut over to the Majority Report, then to Valenti Vids, and then you catch Hassan in the afternoons. We have like a whole leftist socialist comrade network. That's my dream. I know that scares some of you MAGA. I know it's scary to hear those socialism words. But just remember, your military here in America is socialism, hard at work. I guess you're terrified of that. Anyways, we got, like, I need you to hit subscribe. I want to do this in a way that...
period of time.
I can show you this stuff up on the screen. Hold on, I want to rewind it a little bit.
Greatest economy in the history of our country. We have, again, Biden did in just a short period of time.
I don't know how many, because we didn't start at the beginning of the video, but I don't know how many times, like you heard right there, Biden did. This whole poor leadership, and I'm just talking from a corporate management perspective, if you've ever done the corporate management training, what I would add to that, a little life hack, a little life advice, is when you're a leader, don't try to pass the buck everywhere. You know, just take some responsibility. I mean, this guy has never done that in his life, but I've just never. I would love to do a full show where we could have a Biden counter up in the corner, watch this, and just every time he blames Biden, we just run the ticker. You know, it just keeps going, because this dude just cannot. He cannot take accountability. He cannot not mention Joe Biden. I mean, you would think he's been president for more years than Biden was out of the past, 10 years. But you would think, we had Biden be president since 1988 and Donald Trump's just taken over. It's so fucking crazy. And for you grown men out there that support him, this is a poor example in leadership. Very poor.
Biden couldn't raise anything. No investment. I think investment went out of our country. I'm now at almost $18 trillion in 9 months.
Is he talking about his own wealth there? Did he get $18 trillion?
That's the biggest in the history of the world. China's never done it, never done anywhere near that. And all that money is coming in, it's investment.
Where is that money going to? 18 trillion, he says, came in. Why did we add 2 trillion to the debt then? Where is that money going? I just wish we could get some more information. I wish Laura Ingraham would ask some more questions.
It's building auto plants, it's building AI plants.
So
by the way, we're leading
AI plants. Awesome.
China by a lot on AI.
I'm not sure about that.
We have potentially the greatest already it is.
How many times is he going to say we have the greatest economy in the world? He really does believe. Did you ever read that Donald Trump subscribes to the big lie that if you just say something enough, people will believe it? You don't need to present facts. It's the old trust me, bro argument if you just keep repeating it. Between Biden and greatest economy, I think that's probably like 20 minutes of this 6-minute interview.
But we have, when these things open up, there's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that mean
When these things open up, there's never going to be a country. Okay.
Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
and does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big
Are you ready for this? She's talking about the immigrant visa, H-1B, not like the EB-1 visa, the Epstein-Buddy 1 visa that Melania took to come here. This is a different one. This is for workers to come. And if you don't know, if you're just waking up from a coma, this guy has been on a massive, wide-scale private police raiding American cities to rid the country of immigrants who are working here.
priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign
but
workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
No, you
here.
don't. No, you.
We have plenty of talent here. No, you don't. No, you don't. This is your America First guy calling you talentless? We have plenty of talent. No, you don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have.
No, you don't.
Have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off
Now, notice he said people have to learn. Now listen to what he says.
an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles.
So you can't take, people have to learn, he says, but you can't take them from being unemployed and teach them how to do that. This all totally makes sense. The very smart people running the country. So he says, people have to learn, but you can't take them off an unemployment line and teach them. But did you notice the fascinating thing was what he said they would learn to make? It's very telling about the American economy. The one thing he picks, I think he picked it as like, nobody could make those. But really, it's also telling in that's really our economy right now.
Like an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well,
When you and I were
I'll give you
growing
an
up.
example.
That's a good point from Laura, and I said this earlier in the video when we played this. She said, how did we ever do it before? That was the whole thing with unemployment. If you don't know, if you've never been on unemployment before, you take classes with the state, and they also have community outreach, and they have re-education programs, or that didn't sound good, but they have programs where you can learn skills, or if you have a skill, you can advance it, and they have connections with companies in the community that will hire you, that if you, are learning a new skill, they'll take you in. That's exactly how it works. And your president, the guy who was America first, is literally saying, no, they're not talented. What are we going to do? Take them from the unemployment line? And at least Laura Ingraham said, yeah, well, that's what we've done. Like, that's what we did when we were kids. That's what you do. You take the unemployed people and you employ them. It's like the whole thing. And he's saying no, because they're untalented. Not because you can't teach them. You just said they're untalented. That's your president. Let's see what else he says.
In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out.
Oh, I forgot. He brought up the Georgia thing where the South Korean workers were here to help open the Hyundai plant and they were training American workers. It's funny how he brings up the Georgia thing and says, well, they wanted illegal immigrants. He was responsible for detaining all those South Korean workers. South Korea, in return, was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up, tarnished our relationship with them. So while they were trying to train the American workers to do this, he stepped in and confiscated all those humans and detained them.
They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. Making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it.
So he's even admitting here that they were there to teach people how to do it. So why did you detain all of them? Why did you have your ICE forces raid them? This is what I mean. It's like, you gotta be like a confident amount of stupid to think you understand or to think this makes sense. So what he's saying is, again, here's the message. We can't hire Americans because they're untalented. Can't take them off the unemployment line and teach them how to make missiles. Teach them how to make missiles. He'll get to that. And he says, so we need immigrants because they're talented, but I also raided the immigrants coming here to teach Americans and detained all them. Are you following? I know it's hard because he's all over the fucking place like a guy with dementia. But he said, can't hire Americans, untalented, need immigrants, but the immigrants came to Georgia to teach Americans. I raided the place and confiscated and detained them all. So we need more immigrants to detain? I don't know where he's going with this. Let's find out.
Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you...
You're going to need that, Laura. So why, Donald, did your regime detain those people if you're going to need that? He acts like Laura did that. He's like, you're going to need it, Laura. I don't know why you're detaining all these people. Do you understand, MAGA, how stupid this is? Do you understand? This is like top tier level stupidity. Top tier.
You and I disagree on this. You can't just say...
No, she doesn't disagree with you. You're disagreeing with yourself. This is unreal. Like, I almost have some empathy. You're like, wow, this old man is really struggling to know what the fuck he's talking about. No one's disagreeing with you. You're disagreeing with yourself. You're saying, we can't hire Americans, they're untalented. We need the immigrants, but it's just unfortunate I have a regime that's raiding the immigrants and detaining them that I think I need. So no, you're disagreeing with yourself, old man. Keep yelling at those clouds. Maybe they'll come down.
A country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
And they're going to start making their missiles. I love how his interpretation of the country, the economy in the country, is making missiles. I think he was saying that as like, well, you can't just train anyone to make missiles. This is a very difficult thing to do. But it was also a very Schadenfreude? No. A very Freudian slip of what our economy actually is. It's just a military-industrial complex. Because clearly when they tried to open up a Hyundai plant, Donald Trump's Jeffrey Epstein's best friend's regime raided the plant and detained all of the people trying to train American workers. So, yeah, that was the ranting and ramblings of Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, who is getting very old, getting up there in age, almost 80. He's almost at that Smucker's birthday on the morning show. And he unfortunately runs the country right now. So if you're wondering why, shit's getting worse, you can just understand that guy probably shouldn't be in charge. And again, I did not link that video down below, but if you would like to watch it, all you got to do is look up Fox News, Laura Ingraham. What else was there in news? What else was there in news? Don't forget Rudy and Don, Epstein's best friend. By the way, some of this stuff makes me so sick when you're seeing Elon Musk, him, an illegal South African, cutting the U.S. aid to people and what the effects are. It's just, to watch a trillionaire, an empty husk of a soul, ensure other people suffer is just weird. And then don't forget Donnie pardoning. Did you see the newer news story where Donnie, he's very concerned about drugs. That's why he pardoned the Long Island drug dealer. But that guy is going back to prison because of this. So, and then cool new street art. I love the street art in LA. Love it. All right, guys. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob. For the people who want to make this country better, and by better, that's what I forgot to do, is get the picture of what I mean by better. Maybe I'll take a minute to find it. Hold on. What I mean by better. Let's see if I can find this. I know it's back here somewhere. What I mean by better. Where is it? I'm going to show you the things that we're pushing for. The things that we are bringing to the conversation is this. This is what I mean by better. Overturn Citizens United, get that dark money, that corporate money, to rip the souls out of the corporations. They're not humans. Codify women's right to choose, term limits, rid of the electoral college, gerrymandering no more, universal healthcare, ban stock trading, cap Congress salary, tax billionaires out of existence, tax unrealized gains, tax megachurches, raise the federal minimum wage to $66 an hour is what it should be for our productivity. That's not even if we kept pace. If we kept pace with how much CEOs kept giving themselves raises, the minimum wage would be $430-something an hour. So we're not even asking for that. We're not greedy. We just want to survive and buy a house before we're the age of 40 or 50. So hit subscribe. If you believe in this stuff, if you want to join the community, join the coalition and keep pushing for this, keep speaking out. This stuff should be normalized, not this bullshit farce of regime and an economy. Then I encourage you to join us on this mission to keep joking about the news, because the news is a joke. You just heard it. Oh, I didn't even get into Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly's comments on the Epstein files. We might have to do that tomorrow. Ooh, I go live on weekdays. All right, I might go live tomorrow, but don't tell anybody, okay? That's why you hit the notification bell. You hit the notification bell, you'll get notified when I go live. I am Rob. I appreciate you. Let's make this place a kick-ass place that works for the working people, not just the billionaires, the oligarchs, the people in power. Remember, they work for us. It's called public service for a reason. That's why they get our votes. That's why we pay them. They work for us. We are their bosses. That's how it works, folks. We pay taxes, they pay themselves. So we should be getting something in return, right? This community should be working for us. We just do better when that happens. And the proof is, in the history. So thank you guys for joining us. Everybody who's here, all the mods, thank you so much for your work. Have a good one. Be kind to each other. Peace.